in the middle of a pandemic, and every time this president comes out, he gives inaccurate information.
The worst emergency response to a pandemic that we have ever seen in this country. And Donald Trump should take the next month off and golf while someone else handles it.
I mean, that's just a small sampling, Mr. Speaker.
I know. I mean, you know, someday, many years from now, historians will look back at this stuff and they'll try to figure out what was going on. Here you have a president who I think that people need to understand this. And I can say this from sitting in Italy and having lived it out, and frankly being locked up in our house today, in a country which is desperately trying to recover and trying to defeat the virus. When I look at the moral courage he had, looking up, getting a quick briefing and saying, we're not going to take the risk, cut off the flights. Now, the New York Times, the Washington Post, NBC News, I mean, every left-wing cuckoo in the country promptly started screaming, this is racist. No, it had nothing to do with race. It had to do with, where's the virus? And I think he bought us at least 6 weeks to try to gear up, get ready, and move. And then again, the news media doesn't want to admit it, but he did two amazing things. He picked Pence, Vice President Pence, who'd been a governor, would handle 2 epidemics while he was governor, said, you chair the task force. And then he brought in some of the best people in America. I had done a podcast with Tony Fauci in early February. I've known Tony since the mid-'80s when he was working on HIV/AIDS. I mean, this is a world-class person. Dr. Brits, who had done so much in Africa, she's a world-class person. And Trump had the courage to say, I'm going to surround myself with people who know vastly more than I do. And then we're going to have arguments, and we're going to try to think it through. And he's exactly right to have arguments, because their job is the vertical of public health. His job is the horizontal of leading the entire nation, worrying about the economy, worrying about national security. I think historians are going to look back and go, this guy is so much bigger than his opponents are willing to concede that it's amazing.
You know, we do have an election in 222 days, and the ultimate jury, the American people, I'm pretty sure that factors in, we don't want to carry these coronavirus task force press conferences of the president. He looks too good. That's what they're really thinking. They won't admit that. Let me play, my favorite Joe Biden, let me just remind everyone of Joe Biden, my favorite. This is my favorite of all, and there's a zillion of them now. Listen.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Created by the thing, that would be God, the creator of everything. Anyway, so he has these daily press, I don't know what you want to call them, his own press briefings. It is technologically so inferior, and it is a shit show. The whole thing is a disaster. But just today, I want to play you the... Oh, okay, go ahead, bud.
All right. You and I have been thinking with each other for 30 years, right? I'm going to go straight out on the limb here, right? You can laugh at me later, but I'm just telling you this instinct. They're going to find an excuse because Biden is so clearly, if the average American says, do I think Biden could have managed this entire virus attack? It's just an absurdity. I believe they're going to find an excuse to dump him for Cuomo.
I wouldn't doubt it at all. How they do it, that's up to them, but it'll be corrupt. And I have a lot on Andrew Cuomo, the world doesn't know. This is just from today. This is only, these 4 cuts are just from today. And his ridiculous briefings, it's unbelievable. Listen.
And what we have done is the reason why most of the world was repaired to us, particularly after World War II, is because of who we are as a nation. We, the people, we hold these truths, etc. Sounds corny, but it's real. If we were setting up an education system for the first time in our history, as we did at the turn of the late 1800s, we would not say 12 years was enough. 12 years is not enough to live in the the second quarter of the middle of the 21st century. None of us want to be cooped up in our homes just as the weather is turning nice, just as spring break travel plans are approaching, just as the campaign for the presidency is kicking into high gear. It's unfair to all of us, and it's unnecessary for all of us, but it's necessary in fact. It's necessary for all of us to have to deal with it. And so there's a lot we can do, but when I left the United States Senate, I became a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, and I spent a lot of time, and the University of Delaware has the Biden School there as well, so I spent a lot of time on campus with college students.
Okay, number one, behold these truths, et cetera, et cetera. 12 years of school is not enough to live in the second quarter of the middle of the 21st century. Social distancing is unnecessary, but no, it's necessary. Claims he was a professor at the University of Delaware. Yeah, false. Last 30 seconds, Mr. Speaker.